Arne Slot should hand in his resignation tonight. Slot should hand it in. Not just for the Fugazi unbeaten run that come to an end. Not just for one of the worst title defences in the history of football. Not because he has let down the Liverpool fan base. And the Liverpool fan base is amazing. And by the way, if you haven't done it yet, like, share and subscribe. The Liverpool fan base is amazing. They will protect their own through thick and thin. There's almost nothing you can do to make the Liverpool fans turn on you. It's quite hard, especially when you've won them league titles or Champions Leagues. If you've been integral in that, getting them to turn against you is so hard. But I feel he's let them down this season with the way they've set up. Things aren't working, as in the Premier League, consistently trying to dominate the ball, have the most possession, leaving themselves exposed to counter-attacks. They can't handle the counter-attacks with how he sets them up, and it's a constant theme. I think that's taken away from how they attack. I think it's made their attackers nervous. They're not creating. Champions League, yes, when they're on the counter themselves, but they're not creating the chances. At home against Burnley, yes, they were missing quite a few. But there's been a number of games in recent weeks. Go back and watch it again. It isn't gilt edge chance that they're missing. One after the other. They're not creating chances. Not creating anything. And I don't believe the players on the pitch are awful. But the 7-minute substitution of Joe Gomez, and I can't understand or fathom it. I can't fathom it. Now I'm a Man United fan, I should be laughing. I am laughing. It's funny. But I try my best to remove my personal feelings as a United fan and speak honestly. If a doctor committed that level of gross negligence, they would go to prison. In fact, you'd call him Harold Shipman. If a doctor committed that level of gross negligence, if a teacher behaved like that, I was about to say if a politician did, now they do it all the time and get away with it. If a teacher did it, jail. Doctor, jail. Firefighter, prison. All gone. That level of gross negligence, 7 minutes to make a sub. Horrendous from Slot. Horrendous. And the maddest bit is, when he makes his substitutions, everything is just like for like. So Bournemouth, yes, you might bring on a striker that wins the individual battles, and that Ekitike comes on and wins the individual battle, makes the space, shoots and scores. Maybe young Rio. Rio did. His skills did win the free kick that led to the equaliser. But, okay, maybe Rio can start beating the fullback and getting the crosses into the box a little bit earlier and we'll score. But no attempt to rejig anything. No attempt to, you know what, we'll try something a little bit different. We'll move a few players around. We'll confuse them. We'll rock the apple cart. We'll try something outside the box. It was same on, same off. And I felt Bournemouth handled it really, really well. The commentator said on about the 65th minute, oh, I'm surprised Bournemouth are hanging on here. They've been under so much pressure. So I went and had a look and I clicked on the stats because I wanted to make sure that my eye test was agreed with the facts. They had all the ball. It was about 84% of possession in the first 20 minutes of the second half. One shot, none on target, no big chances, 0.08 XG. That is not putting a team under pressure. That is passing the ball on the edge of the box and having no idea, if you can't win your individual battle, on anything else you can do to win. What they maybe needed to do, and I know they got back to 2-2, right? So you could argue they got it right, they got back to 2-2. Maybe give Bournemouth the ball. Because actually, when they looked more dangerous, Liverpool, was when Bournemouth went for the winner when it went to 2-2. It became a bit of a basketball match. Maybe what you do is give them the ball for a minute, sit off them a little bit, invite them on, catch them when they're spacing behind. No, none of that from Slot tonight. And for me, just trying to be as honest as possible as a football fan, I think that's horrendous. For £1 billion squad, for some of the best players in the world that sit within that squad, it's so basic, it's so simple, it's so easy. And I expect a Premier League winning manager, I expect the manager of a club with the size and the history of Liverpool to have an option to have a plan to try something different because it wasn't working. And had it not have been for a fantastic free kick by Salah and Szoboszlai, Bournemouth wouldn't have needed the winner because there was no gilt-edged chances. I want to read these statistics to you. The overall game, one big chance created, 0.83 XG, 14 shots, only 4 on target. But let's go into the second half where it was 73% of the ball. But Bournemouth had over 5 times as much XG, more shots on target, and had 4 big chances to Liverpool's 0 big chances in the game. Let that sink in for a moment. With the abundance of talent, with players in a squad that can operate in a variety of ways, it's crazy. 25 times in that second half, Liverpool touched the ball in Bournemouth's box. Bournemouth, 18 times they touched the ball in Liverpool's box. And I cannot express to you those numbers being so close and being so tight as an embarrassment. Embarrassment. They were barely able to break those lines. And when they did, they were shut out. And there's even more questions that Liverpool need to look at here. They're thinking of selling Andy Robertson. Yet he's the guy they brought on for Kirkes, who was struggling again. They're going to bring back Tsimikas if they sell Andy Robertson, who isn't as good as Kirkes or Andy Robertson. Crazy decision. They decided to not pay the going rate for Mark Gahey. And with Joe Gomez now out injured, what next for Liverpool? This isn't just slot, by the way. I am looking at 2 guys who I think are 2 of the best in the world at running football clubs in Hughes and more so Edwards. You've got to look at them and say, what is this decision-making that you're doing? But ultimately, them keeping Slot this long, I know Liverpool have a rich history of not sacking managers, especially managers who have won you major trophies. But you can't not finish in a Champions League spot. You can't have the likes of Man United potentially finish ahead of you. You can't. You can't even toy with it. You can't even toy with it. And listen, I'm a United fan. I want to finish above you. It'd be good for our season. It'd be a good little bit of banter. But I'm speaking as a neutral for a moment. I'm neutralising myself as a United fan. It can't happen. It is ridiculous. Liverpool fans have got to start putting more pressure on their ownership to move on a Slot on to save your season. Because you are not winning the Premier League this way. Champions League, maybe you can. I did say it the other night. If you maintain this sort of underdog approach in the Champions League, sit back, let the other team have possession and counter, I think you could win it. I doubt you're going to, but you could win it. There is a possibility in there. Because you look a better team when you play like that. But when you have all the ball and you try and pin a team back, it's so vulnerable. It's vulnerable, but actually, I'm going to look at the games here because I want to make sure I'm not capping. We're talking Premier League only. Quite a lot of chances created against Burnley, I think, if my memory serves me right, but only 3 big chances. So 32 shots, but only 3 big chances in the entirety of that game. Again, isn't enough. Nothing against Arsenal. We know that. I don't even need to go and check that. Okay, we know what happened in that Arsenal game. In the Fulham game, again, only 3 big chances, only 10 shots in the whole game. Thought you'd won it late and then conceded, but only 10 shots in the whole game, only 3 big chances in the match. Leeds United at home, again, 19 shots in the game, 70% of the ball, but 2 big chances in the whole game. Right? Wolves at home. You were quite fortunate not to draw that game. You won it, though. But again, 14 shots, not bad, but 1 big chance against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the entirety of the game. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. What's getting Liverpool through matches, what's making Liverpool not lose more games, is the quality of the keeper, and then it's the quality of the individual players, scoring great goals, scoring free kicks, getting those last-ditch tackles in. So the quality of the players is the reason Liverpool still sit in the Champions League spot. Excuse me. But FSG must act. I feel for Liverpool fans because this is absolutely no way your great club should be treated. It's as simple as that. Do me a favor, please like, share, and subscribe. Give me your thoughts below. Can't wait to hear what you've all got to say.